Hello and welcome to 15 and 15, an interview show where my guest has 15 minutes to answer 15 questions. I'm your host, Sly, and we're starting off with number one. Who are you?
My name is Kyle Stephenson, aka Mr. K-Step on Twitter. One half of the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast co-host, where the latest and greatest in all things PlayStation every single week on any podcast service of your choice, as well as one of the co-founders and co-creators of 61indie.com, a video game media publication all about the indie games that you should be playing.
All good things.
Yeah.
Number two, what movie has made you a better person?
So Goonies is the first that comes to my mind because of and it's not like historically a like emotionally moving movie, but as a kid I grew up with not a whole lot of friends, so watching that made me want to seek out other kids and go on adventures, and whether that was at recess time or just like as I got older wanting to go on adventures um with other people. So like Goonies is for sure that, but also movies like Spotlight and Pursuit of Happiness and things about real things and evil in the world and wanting to make sure that never happens again. Those movies, any movie that makes you emotional and crying makes you a better person because you can put yourselves in those people's shoes and learn empathy, which is something you need. It's just like it's a skill that everyone should have for sure. So any of those for sure made me a better person.
Right. Number three, if you created a new story, what medium would you use to tell it?
So I'm thinking TV, like a Netflix style bingeable show. I'm a big fan of when an episode ends. There's a cliffhanger for next week, so you want to keep going and want to consume it all at once. In addition to, I think TV does a great job with, if it's a good TV show, Sly, there's character arcs for everybody. It's not just one character arc or whatever. So I want to be able to have something where every character gets their chance to shine and grow as a character, and that is what I see myself leaning towards too, like shows that do that kind of stuff. So I think that would be first and foremost. And then like I think video games would be second just because I love video games and I think their storytelling in there is fantastic.
Number four, what did you eat yesterday?
So here's where everyone's gonna yell at me because I have the diet of a 5-year-old. I had cold pizza for lunch and dinner and candy because it's getting close to Halloween time, and so we have bags of like bite-sized candy just because that's what happens here in the Stevenson household. So I had a lot of mini-sized Kit Kats and Whoppers, and did not know if you know this, Sly, but Airheads have more than just the Airhead Laffy Taffy. They have Airhead lollipops. They have Airhead like little Skittle things. They have sour like gummy candy, Airhead branded. So like again, diet of a 5-year-old. It was cold pizza and candy with some Snapple peach tea. Those are that's my go-to.
That sounds great. Number five, why are you here?
Why am I here? Well, of course I'm here to support you, Sly, and this amazing new show. But in the broader sense, why am I here? I believe I'm here to be a positive force and show people that you can go about your business and doing it in the right way, in the nice way, and not step on people to get your way and do that thing and kind of grind out. Um, and yeah, and just make sure I leave the world in a better place than where I came into it in. Whether or not that's with my background of working with kids or um, just everyone that I meet, making sure that they know that they have touched me in a way that's made me better and hopefully inspire them to keep going and doing rad things. I think that's why I'm here to do that kind of thing. And play video games, of course.
Number 6. If there was a comic book about your life right now, who would be the villain?
Oh, man. Giving this more thought, I think there's two villains. I think
Mhm.
there's going to be the villains that are the credit card companies because they I want to get rid of that debt, so I'm going to go beat them up and make sure that's gone. And then to get like existential with it, I think my own brain would be a villain because
Oh, yeah.
in many cases my brain and my mental myself are holding me back and telling me I can't do things. So like if I was a comic book character, I would want to defeat that villain so then I can continue living my life and do great things and push past all the barricades that myself are putting up, saying I can't do this because newsflash, I'm trying to switch
Number
careers. So it's
7. Which inanimate object would you choose to transfigure into at will?
so since I live here at home still with three kids, 10 years and under, and then a nephew who's a couple months old, I don't want to transfigure into something that is fragile because it's gonna break in a million pieces, and I won't. I'm pretty sure if you get broken as a inanimate object, you're like dead. I think that's how that works.
I don't
I don't
know.
know if any. I don't know if anything has ever like searched out and like showed what happens if that would happen. So something that's sturdy enough to not break. And I love being cold, so I'm thinking like just a freezer, like a big freezer where you can like store frozen foods because I like being cold, and that's not gonna break from the girls running around and do what they slam the door shut a little hard. That's fine.
Number
I can
8.
handle that.
What's your relationship like with religion?
So I grew up as a Catholic, went to Catholic school, would go to church every single weekend, and in college found myself just going on the holidays like most Catholics do. Um, and it's funny the timing of this. Like I just finished midnight mass, and that made me look at religion in a new light. I'm kind of somewhere like in between where I do think there is a greater thing, a creator of some sort, but I also believe that that person wouldn't do such or sit back and let all these awful things happen. Like I can't imagine a greater being allowing a child to go through cancer and dying at such a young age. I that is really hard for me to overcome.
Number 9. If the world was like a fantasy, would you be a fighter or a mage?
I love mages in games, Sly. I love throwing out spells and whatnot. But I think I'm gotta be a fighter. Because I just want to punch something.
Mhm.
I've never been in a real fight, so I want to experience that. In addition, to allow me to live out my fantasies of being a professional wrestler. That was my dream when I was little. So be able to like suplex and give these demons and monsters the stone cold stunner and rock bottoms and whatnot, I think would be cool. However, I'm going to have the caveat of I'm going to subclass as a mage just so I can throw a fireball. That's all I want to do. If I could be a fighter that throws a fireball, I'm totally fine. That's my choice. Yeah.
All right, number 11. What would be your villain origin story?
Oh man. Villain origin story. I think it's gonna have to be. Oh well, it's already started actually, Sly. It's whenever Snapple discontinued the Snapple Elements brand, is when I went full villains because those things are very good and very tasty, and they should be coming back. Snapple. I don't know what's going on, so that is 100% why I'm a villain because they took away one of the best tasting drinks of all time, and they're not ever gonna bring them back. And it makes me sad. Makes me sad, Snapple. Knock it off. So yeah, that's my villain origin story. Snapple Elements going away.
All right, next one. Which part of a house is your favorite?
Well, I'll tell you right now which one is not my favorite. It's the current room I'm in right now, the basement. I love it. This is where I spend most of my time. However, we have a cricket problem, and the crickets are
Oh,
driving me insane. So right now, it's not my favorite. But my favorite part of the house would be the bedroom, just because of that's where I sleep and my bed's comfy. Um, Second would be the backyard, especially if it has a hammock, because I can just lay in the hammock all day in a shady spot. Oh my god, that's my zen place. Third place would be if it was a fancy house, a theater room. Again, just sit and watch movies and play games on the big screen. That's the dream. That's the dream. Yeah.
okay. Number 12. Are there any realities or truths that you are in denial about?
Yes. 100%. I don't like to get political because it makes me mad. Um, I am in denial that the 4 years of Trump actually happened. I can't believe that is a truth. That's a real thing. History books in the future will have that 4 year period of Trump being president, and I just can't believe that we lived through it. I can't believe it was a real thing. I can't believe how much hurt and awful hate was spewed during those 4 years, and now seems to be the norm, and it's still bleeding over. And it hurts my brain that that was real. That I man, if there's a new answer to the question, if you could erase any part of time, it'd be that 4 years. I would get rid of them.
Just checked.
Gone. If I had the Infinity Gauntlet, snap, those 4 years are gone.
All right. Number 13. What is the strongest creature you think you could physically like beat in a fight?
Not that I want to, but I think I could take on a baby bear. And sure, that sounds rough because I'm targeting a baby bear. But like I'm strong enough to take or handle like bigger dogs. In case you get like rowdy, I can just go pick them up and like make them chill or whatever. So I can handle that. Baby bear, I think, might be the next step up. Unless Mama Bear is nearby. If Mama Bear is nearby, I have no shot whatsoever. And of course, this would be like a wrestling match. I'm not going to throw hands at the baby bear. I will wrestle the baby bear into submission. That's where the fight's going.
All right. Number 14. Who is your biggest inspiration out of spite?
So spite is a harsh word. I'm not spiteful. I don't. I'm not inspired by hate. Like I'm inspired by cool people doing cool things, like you slide with the show, Point in Progress, all these cool people in the community that I met that make good things. So I'm usually inspired by love and just how proud of them that how proud I am of them doing their thing that inspires me to keep going and keep making cool stuff. However, there's a couple that I want to just defeat in both like money and wealth,
Mm-hmm.
and I inspire to be better than those people in career philosophy. That's the Paul brothers, Logan and Jake. I completely hate them. That I'm fine with saying that. So if I could be inspired and work hard and get to be a spot above them, 100%. Same kind of category as the Kardashians as well.
Number 15. What is on your bucket list?
So bucket list would be I want to attend a Major League Baseball game at every single stadium. I have like 6 or 7 down. Have touched the West Coast or Central America or South America, not South America, the southern states of North America. Um, so that's 100% on my bucket list. And then just like to really travel more, specifically Europe, because I want to see like the Roman Colosseum and the Eiffel Tower and just hang out in London. Because my first flight was out in San Francisco a few years ago, and I want to see the world. I haven't had money to travel, really. Before that, as a kid, I only went to Amish country in Pennsylvania. So, not the most exciting places in the world. So, 100% traveling. You're not going to catch
And
my big
time.
ass coming out of the plane.